Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I offer my amendment that prohibits any funds from being used to finalize or otherwise carry out the Biden administration's proposed NEPA Phase 2 rule. Rather than working to fix our broken permitting system and working to address the incredible challenges and barriers NEPA poses, the Biden administration's proposed rules makes our already broken system even worse. This proposed rule expands broken NEPA framework, adds additional requirements, and creates new tools for opponents to shut down good projects. The NEPA Phase 2 rule would require federal agencies not only to consider climate change, but also add a new requirement to consider environmental justice during the NEPA review process, including environmental tree justice and tree equity. These new requirements are just another way that opponents of highway infrastructure projects, water infrastructure projects, critical mineral mining projects, renewable energy projects, transmission projects, oil and gas development projects to get to a no. This administration does not want to do it here in the United States of America. Additionally, the NEPA Phase 2 rule violates the reforms Congress has put forth to address our permitting woes. These reforms were part of the bipartisan Fiscal Responsibility Act that we passed earlier this year. Trust me, the permitting provisions in the debt ceiling agreement did not solve all of our permitting problems, but they were an important step in the right direction. For example, it included strict page limits and review deadlines for environmental assessment or an environmental impact statement. Does the NEPA Phase 2 rule implement these reforms? Absolutely not. This administration is not following the laws that Congress put forward. In fact, when CEQ Chair Brenda Mallory, the Biden administration's tasked with fixing NEPA and our broken permitting system, testified before the Natural Resources Committee in June, she claimed the administration didn't need to change a thing. She told Congress that this administration would just follow and do business as usual. She falsely claimed that this administration was already doing everything the debt ceiling agreement instructed it to do, and that is absolutely not true. The NEPA Phase 2 rule is a blatant show of disregard for congressional intent and the law that this body passed and President Biden signed into law. The NEPA Phase 2 rule is completely misguided. It's a step in the wrong direction, and it's important we vote today to prevent the administration from moving to finalize the rule. I urge all my colleagues to support this amendment, and I reserve.
Reserves. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Maine seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to claim time in opposition.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We oppose this amendment, and I yield back.
The gentlewoman yields back. The gentleman from Minnesota is recognized.
Thank you very much. What this amendment does, it allows American energy, American prosperity, American technology, and the American workers to provide energy and critical minerals and transmission projects, highway and bridge projects, dams and rivers. This allows us to do it here. This allows our communities to have a voice in what happens. Not a federal three-letter agency, bureaucrats telling the American people what they need and what's best in their communities. Because you know what? Our local elected officials know better than Washington, D.C. and the bureaucrats. These three-letter agencies are out of control. They're unelected. They're not accountable to anybody. And this administration is not following the laws that this body passed. For years and years, administrations haven't followed what Congress and the Senate has put forward. It's about time we do that, and it can start today. I urge adoption of my amendment, and I yield.
The gentleman yields.